Menstrual hygiene is vital to the empowerment and well-being of women and girls worldwide. We chat to Beatrice Mutali, a representative from the United Nations Population Fund, to find out more about some of the challenges facing menstrual health during these times. Welcome to The Loft, Beatrice.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Now, Beatrice, we do live in an era where menstruation is still taboo in many of our societies. Why do you think that this is the case?
There's a lot of stigma around menstruation, and I think if we look back, this really emanates from the fact that it is perceived as something dirty, something that one needs to be ashamed of, something that is hidden. And when we look at it, it really, women who go through menstrual cycles go through a lot of restrictions. Many of them we find in communities and societies end up being restricted from going to schools. Young people can't go to school, so there's absenteeism from school. They can't go to religious meetings. They cannot go to, they're kept away from cooking, from kitchens. And all this really comes from the fact that it's really embedded in the societal and cultural and traditional beliefs that we have around menstruation. And this really in itself really impedes on the gender equality of women, but also really impacts on their dignity as human beings.
Why has the issue of menstrual health become so important for women and young girls now?
I think what we're finding right now is that there is the growing realization amongst women, amongst girls, that unless they speak for themselves, unless they fight for their rights and advocate for their rights, no one will. And what we are finding now is that that is the change, that women are recognizing that they need to fight for their rights. Women and young girls need access to the information and education around their menstruation. They need access to resources so that they can have these commodities they need. And they also need support during these times. So it's really what has changed, and it is the realization that women need to advocate for themselves. And that's what's happening today.
The COVID-19 pandemic has brought about many changes to girls and women. What role has the UNFPA played to ensure that access to menstrual health products and education, information and communication continues during the COVID-19 period?
We realized that we needed to find a way to get to ensure continuity of information and services. So what we did is partner with our youth-serving organizations, partner with them to ensure that we could continue to find a way using existing media, using social media platforms, to ensure that information, education around menstrual health management continued to be accessed by young people. So we really worked with young people to reach out to other young people on the vital information they need.
So what are some of the challenges of addressing menstrual health and hygiene management during this period?
A key challenge, of course, has been access to services. That service has been limited because we know a lot of young girls, particularly those from poor households, were accessing their services through the school infrastructure. And with the close down of schools and restrictions on movement, that was a challenge. So UNFPA and our other partners, particularly the Department of Women, Youth and People with Disabilities, Department of Social Development, Water Aid and other partners, what we did is look at how can we ensure provision of commodities and find a way that these young girls in difficult circumstances can continue to get access to the vital commodities they need, the sanitary pads, the soap, the water, etc. So it was really looking at innovative ways to ensure continued access during the COVID-19 crisis.
Now, Beatrice, finally, do you have any thoughts that you'd like to leave us with today? And keeping in mind that we are celebrating Women this August.
I think, first of all, is really to applaud the government of South Africa, because the government of South Africa has been one of those governments that has been one of the ones that was really fast in setting up a national menstrual health coalition movement. We need to remember that there are young girls who probably are not going to school. There are young girls who are disabled. There are probably young girls who for particular reasons are in very hard to reach places. We need to make sure that they are not left behind. We need to find a way to really reach them and make sure that their potential is not curtailed, that they are not left behind simply because of their circumstances. And UNFPA remains committed to working with partners to ensuring access to all young girls.
Thank you so much for reaching these people, reaching these underprivileged environments and helping out our young girls and women. We appreciate it so much, Beatrice Mutali.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much to Beatrice Mutali for the incredible work that she's doing, reminding us to keep a focus on education, communication, and spreading menstrual health and hygiene products to those in need. Whether you are in remote areas in South Africa or the city, head over to our social media platforms and let's share in initiatives making a real difference.